Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Diego Reyes Pazos. Diego is in charge of the supply chain and admin and various sort of functions, I guess, around Cementos Pacasmayo, which is a Peruvian cement company with three big cement facilities in Peru. And you're going to be speaking at the World Hydrogen Latin America Conference, which is fast approaching us 12th to the 14th of December in Santiago, Chile. And so welcome, Diego. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Nadine. I'm very pleased to be here.
Yeah. So obviously cement is I guess a major contributor in terms of emissions and probably one of the really hard to abate sectors. So we have hard to abate sectors, and then I guess we have really hard to abate sectors, and certainly cement is one of those. And I think globally responsible for around about sort of 7% of global emissions. So a big issue there, and I guess there's lots of challenges around decarbonisation of cement, certainly to try and get it to 100%. But we're beginning to see around the world some people experimenting with hydrogen and looking at how hydrogen can potentially reduce cement. So it's obviously something you've been looking at and had some studies commissioned. So maybe if you can give us an introduction and thoughts. I know you were at the World Hydrogen Latin America last year, so you're obviously investing time and energy in this area. So yeah, please give us your overview of how you view hydrogen and how it sits within the general, I guess, framework for trying to decarbonize the cement industry.
Yeah, at the moment that we participate in the Congress last year, we were making an evaluation about the hydrogen and in the participation of hydrogen, or the possibility of using hydrogen in our processes. We make a survey with a company about the infrastructure that we have at that moment and how we can manage a transition, or thinking about introducing the hydrogen like a part of our mix of energy process at that moment. Well, right now we finished that study. We learn about the process, we learn about our infrastructure, we learn about our restrictions, and we're designing the way of that transition of reducing our emissions in the future. No, for us it's like I think it's not going to be a long way, but it's going to be like a middle term way of making that change in the future.
And in terms of the first step, I guess there's the process for people who are not familiar with the cement making process. You have the formation of the clinker and the potential for hydrogen to act at that stage and to help, I guess, reduce the emissions, specifically using clean hydrogen as a reducing agent. And then it's further on in the use of replacing gas or coal for powering up the burners. And then I think you also alluded to potentially also in solutions for actually moving the cement on in terms of trucks, etc. So yeah, what is the sort of, where do you see hydrogen being applied to first to sort of help, and at what stages? I guess you can't just suddenly switch over to 100% hydrogen, and you have to sort of develop the process.
Yeah, the hydrogen is a very good alternative. The bad part right now is the cost, the high cost that we have. So one part is the high cost, and the other part is that because of the big amount of energy that we need, it can only be a little part at this moment of the combination. So as you were saying, we were trying to investigate more about our participation in other activities, like the primary transportation, or like the energy that we need for our operations, or the movement of materials in our operations when we extract this mineral, these materials. So in that point, it's very interesting to know what is going on, what advances we have, and maybe it's not like the when we saw it, it was like very focused on minery, and right now it can be more applied to other industries like cement.
Yeah. And in terms of, I mean, where is easy? I mean, have you been trialing and looking at it as acting as for its chemical properties in terms of acting as a reducing agent, and is there any, is it a feasible way to use to produce concrete or cement in that way?
Yes, the thing is that in this case, the energy that you put changes your process. So you have to design the combination of the materials that you're putting on. So until we don't have this final mix that we're going to work, we won't have the exact recipe that we need in terms of materials. No, for us, the energy is part of the ingredients that go on the cement.
Yeah. And the cement is and then also you're looking at using it in the actual burners then in terms of for the heat application.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are in the heat, and we also are in the preheat. We have like two processes involved.
Yeah. And you obviously then need large quantities of hydrogen and obviously at cheaper prices.
And the thing is that we not only need a big amount of energy, we need to have it stabilized.
Yeah,
so you cannot change it because in the cement industry, it's very important to maintain the operations, because it's a turn off of operation can be a huge cost for us.
Yeah.
So you
continuous
need
process.
It's a very complex process.
Yeah, I understand. It does seem to be quite complex. And in terms of the properties of the cement, we spoke before, and you mentioned you had some potentially encouraging news on that front.
Yeah, we made a lot of investigations. We made a lot of work in the market to change the use of the cement in Peru, working with additions, trying to reduce our factor of clinker cement that we have, because in terms of a bag that you sell to a market, it's better to have less clinker. Talking about the sustainability, objective. So in that work, in that area, we make a lot of work. Right now, our portfolio is primary with cement with reduction of clinker amount, and it worked very good because it's we have a very good quality, and we are participating in this sustainability area, no?
And so using sort of alternative additions into the process, as opposed to just clinker, like I think you mentioned before, slag and porcelain and other materials, limestone. Do you know how much emissions you're able to reduce, or?
It's the reduction is going to be considering the factor that you're reducing of clinker. But we can talk about more than 2 digits reduction. Of clinker.
That's big. Excellent. And you're obviously going to be attending, as I mentioned, to the event in Santiago. Are there any sort of specific partners you're looking to meet, or areas for collaboration?
Interesting of learning more about the changes, because it's because this is innovation. The bad part right now that we have is the cost. But I think then with time, this curve is going to change, and the costs are going to reduce. So it's going to be more affordable for companies like us to implement these processes. But by the other hand, it's the other activities that we can work with hydrogen. No, like I talked before, like transport, like operation, big like yellow line equipment. We can work a lot of areas that will. It's not going to be the huge impact that we can have on cement on the process, but it's going to be like part of the process of making a better a reduction in the emission that like companies.
Understood. Well, excellent. Well, Diego, thanks a lot for taking the time out to chat to me today. It's been fascinating to get your perspective. It's not an area I know particularly a lot about, but I know there is a lot of interest building from the cement industry, and we're seeing that across the world about how they can use hydrogen to reduce the emissions profile. So thank you, as I said, and we look forward, and we hope you have a great event in Santiago at World Hydrogen Latin America. And so many thanks. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye bye. Adios.